That's actually interesting. That is the family tree of all the HiFiMan headphones that is available to you. What the hell's the X on this? On Apos's site, which Apos is the ones who sent me this. Yes, this is the one, the Edition XS. Not to be confused with the Ananda. Not to be confused. And just to make my life a living hell, or better, we use that background for now, yeah. I've got 4 sets of Aria pads from Dakoni, which will work on both the Edition X and the Ananda, because I don't actually have Aria. So what I'm going to do is I've started this review. I'm going to stop this for camera in a second. I'm going to go make hot cocoa because I fucking need it today. Because yesterday was a propane delivery, $1,830. Because fucking propane is expensive. Thank you for supporting this channel, by the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop camera, make hot cocoa, come back down here, listen to the XS in my final like focused listening period. Then I'm going to listen to the Ananda for a little bit just to give it, like, so I can give that comparison like directly, and then give my review, stock pads, XS versus the Ananda, and then I'm going to pause the camera again, and then I'm going to just fucking live my life with these 5 pads on this, probably the same tracks over and over again, which will drive me batty, but that's how this works. It's how reviews work. It's ugly in the background. And then I will give you my opinion on if any of these are worth it, because these are the Aria pads. I'll link to the Aria pads in the description. I'll tell you if any of the Aria pads improve the XS or the Ananda. What the fuck? Let's just go for it. If I find one that works here, I'll try it there, and then we'll... But yeah, welcome to Z Reviews Edition XS Edition. XS Edition, XS Edition. All right, so hot cocoa gotten, hot cocoa drinking. Oh. Many a song to listen to, and so I haven't taken the Anandas off the wall in a bit, and I kind of know what they sound like because I kind of know what everything sounds like, kinda. So I whipped out this is actually the Apos flow cable. I figured since Apos sent me the headphones, I should probably take out the Apos flow cable. This is actually the Periapt cable. And the reason I'm using different cables is because I don't know where the fuck I put the fucking cable for the XS. It's probably the standard, it's a $500 headphone, so it's a cheaper side, but it's not the terrible cable. I just know it wasn't the terrible cable. It's probably the same exact cable that came with the R70X. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. But listening session here. Phil Collins, Take Me Home. Brought a little bit of a tear to my eye. But only out of the XS and not the Ananda. I was like, all right, you can see how both plugged into the same amp at the same time, which is usually a bad practice, but I plugged it in while the other one was on my head, and I'm like, is it affecting, is there an impedance problem? Didn't really notice it, and I wanted to have it exact 1-to-1. These are on the same amp at the same time, both balanced. I had to know, because I had the Edition XS in the K9 Pro, and I had the Anandas in I think the Burson, and then I'm like, I'll try them in the A90, and I'm like, why do these sound so different? So different. Like, fuck. Like, is something wrong with the line that's running to this to make these sound bad? So I just had to plug them both in at the same time. And I sit here, and it was song after song after song, and I'm preferring the XS. And there was a song with like a low end that was like womp. And I'm like, where is it on the Anandas? And it's on that. And that's not the biggest difference. The biggest difference between the two, let's just get this out of the way, is soundstage. The XS have it, and the Anandas don't. I know. Fuck, stop. Fuck, stop. Stop the fucking whoa. Because I feel like the driver is an inch further away in the XS. And if you know Zeos, and you know what I like, and that's kind of the reason people who subscribe to me, buy my recommendations, and then stay subscribed to me, is because you have similar tastes as me. It takes a while. You gotta try all different headphone reviewers and audio reviewers and be like, all right, do I like what this asshole says or what this asshole says? If I buy the thing this asshole says, does it save me money or does it make me happier? Like, that's the balance. Everyone has to come across it. You can't just find one, look at it once, and be done with it. And if you know me, I like wide, kind of soft, kind of soft. Like just, I want to feel comfortable listening to music. I don't want to be like, oh man, oh this is great. Like you walk into a biker bar and you start a fight and they'll start punching you, and that's how you judge the biker bar, is by how stinging the blows are on your face. I'm not interested in that. I want to walk into a biker bar and just be lulled by the cigar smoke and music and ambiance and be like, oh, this is a nice place. And that said, the XS here do a better job for me. The way I figured it, like the first switch, I wasn't sure I was going to use this analogy, but it's perfect. The Anandas feel like I put on a brand new set of jeans. Brand new, crisp, cool, a little bit hard to zipper, but you know, you get them on and it's like, all right, I feel good in these new jeans. But this is that 5 or 6 year old pair of jeans. You put these on and it's just, oh, immediate comfort. They just disappear on your junks in there and you're done. That's the sound difference between the two. And I literally am sitting here listening, and I'm going to have to try, after this review is over, I have to try a couple more things. Because I remember astonishingly liking the Ananda, which by the way, this says Aria/Ananda. I remember astonishingly liking them. And now sitting here with the XS, which is cheaper and the exact same build except for the headband. This uses the comfort strap. This uses their like, hey, we're selling you the cheap one thing, but not the vintage one. I like the vintage one better because it stays smaller. But I'm sitting here going, did I really like the Anandas, or were they just good at the time? Because I'm preferring these. All right, so let's take you guys and put you, actually we're gonna unplug the Periapt cable, the Z Reviews Periapt cable, which I hope people are getting their orders. Do I throw this? Or do I just hang it here with the other one? There you go. Everything's fine. This is all fine. Welcome to Zeospantera. That's fine. I need more hot cocoa. So, what I have to say is the following. These are fucking good for $500. I think I like the way they fit better too, which is strange considering they're the exact same cup and pad, but it's the clamp. The clamp on this is quite springy, actually. This is quite a springy system, and you can't really bend it too far because you get to the extent of that, and that's as far as you could do it. So if you want it to be less clamp, you would have to, I don't know how you'd have to disconnect this somehow and then give this like a pull. Like that's what I usually do, is manipulate the headphones. Whereas this just, you know, you see, this is science right here, boys and girls. Boom, boom. And this is more like, buh. So it's a cheaper set of headphones, but in a way that seems to be benefiting the comfort of them. Less clamp. These big pads, you'd have to clamp them so, they'd have to be so perfectly comfortable. They're the exact same pad. Fabric here, fenestrated holes there, solid outside, and a slight wedge angle, and a lighter clamp, which the headband yet looks cheaper, but it's this big, fucking soft, cushy pad. And it just sort of sits on your head and just like, oh, this just feels more comfortable already. Skip forward a bit. And just like I know I said this about the Ananda, because I've said it about every single edition X, edition XX. Was that a thing? Why do I remember there being an edition XX? The HE1000s, all the headphones that look like this, the big egg-shaped headphones, sound huge because they're fucking huge. It's a 4-knuckle and a loose one at that. So you have a driver in there that's this big. And the only difference between the XS and the Ananda is the XS sounds like it's further away. It's not physically, but whatever they've done to tune it differently, it has worked. It could be the back stepping. It could be, maybe it is physically moved a millimeter and my ear's just picking up on that. But it just sounds like, you know what I'm amazed by? This song, Basement Jaxx La Photo. I'm talking about soundstage and how these are better at soundstage. But this song almost sounds mono. They're just like bump, bump. And it's all happening in like a sliver in the center of my head. That's the most well-defined imaging. Like imaging, there's definition of imaging where it's like you could tell if something is here or here or here or here. That's the accuracy across. But this is showing off like literally the fucking center. It can center. Let's get to another song. Chromatic Surrogate. That goes from that to like everywhere. Yeah, I'm thinking that I might be selling my Anandas. All right, so now the question is going to be, well, Zeos, I know, because you are an educated audience of mine, I know, Zeos, once you have more soundstage, once you move the sound further away, you lose detail. And that's usually the case. It's 99% of the time the case, 91% of the time. If you make something sound further away, bigger, broader, better soundstage, you have to give up detail, because it's like taking a speaker and moving it 10 feet further back. You move it 10 feet further back, you're 10 feet further away from the tweeter. The tweeter is what provides the detail. The detail is not going to be as prevalent. It's going to sort of blend in with the background noise. And while I think the Ananda do have better detail, it almost feels unnaturally close. So it's like, yeah, the Anandas, well, you could hear every little minute string rip on a guitar. But I'd rather hear 91% of every string rip on a guitar and have it be placed better in a space and have it sound more natural, which is what the XS are doing. Yeah, no, this is I'm just gonna keep shuffling through, because here's Tengen Topa Garen Lagan. You all know this soundtrack, and this is like a heartfelt, sad, like this is like the song, and just I don't want to listen to it on the Anandas. I know how this song would sound on those, and on other similarly priced sized planars. I'm not going to mention the GL 2000s because there's issues that, you know, God came down and said, no, we're going to fuck you, Zeus. We're going to have quality control issues. If you still have a set of GL 2000s, by the way, and you love them, say so in the comments. If you got a set of GL 2000s, you don't like them, say so in the comments. My only concern now is, because I like to kind of focus these reviews, where it's like, oh, I was sent a product to review product. And, you know, I could bring in something that's blatantly obvious you have to compare against. But I'm looking at the fucking HiFiMan Sandara 2021s over there, and I'm just like, or 2020, whatever they are. And I'm like, those are $350. Would I take these over those? And then it starts getting blurry, but I'm not going to go pull them off the wall. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that I think the success rate of the Sandaras and how much everyone loves them is greater. Like the what's it called when you're president and you have what's the numbers, the poll numbers? You're up in the polls. Like you're what the fuck is the word? Trash chase mug, great, by the way. Your approval numbers, your approval rating. I think the approval rating, see, that's helped. The approval rating of the Sandaras is like 85 to 90%, which is absurd. Everybody loves Sandaras that hears them. Everybody. And I feel like straight out of the gate, the approval ratings for something like the XS would probably be a little less. It would just be like, okay, I get it. It's big. It's got width. But there are some things that happen in music. A couple of the highs, a couple of cymbals that crash where it's like, ooh, it's still flashing it in my eyes a little bit, just a little bit. Better than the Anandas. Anandas, everything crashes in your eyes, but you know, either you love that or you don't. So the question now is it worth $150 more to get this instead of these Sandaras? I'm going to leave it up to you. I think these are going to, I tell you what, these do have over the Sandaras. 100% is fucking low end. I need to get to a low endy track. In fact, I have a low end playlist because this is my computer. Oh, is everything here broken? Yep, it's all broken. Why? Oh, one of them is not broken. Hold on. Yeah, no. That's sub bass. This is Yoshi Horikawa's interlude from the Vapor album. And it's just like a whomp, whomp. Like in Jurassic Park when the dinosaur's walking a mile away and you could hear it. This song has that for the whole length of the song. And it's just like, I fucking know it. Oh, yeah. What about David Munyon? No? Crash? Yeah, it's because I changed the from /s tower for my NAS to 192.168.1.149, and none of these are from there. What else have I got? That's way too much country music. I'm sure you could hear it. You know, I think... Bathroom Dance from Joker. What a great soundtrack, by the way. If you've not seen the movie Joker, the new Joker, please do, and then please download the soundtrack, because oh my god, is it so well made. Defeated Clown. Yeah, if you have Sundara, and you're like, I love these headphones, they're open, they're wide, they're natural sounding, they just lack bass. I think the XS is like open, slightly less natural. I gotta keep the Sundaras having like some sort of crown, like some sort of massive, like holy fuck. But these have low end. And is that worth $150 more to get a? It's more comfortable. I'm gonna just say it straight up. You've got a giant pad, the giant opening, and that uses the same headband as this, so it's got that clamp going for it. And this is sort of like, I like that wall represents something very simple. People don't grasp this. It's not the best I can get. It's the best I can get for my money. Some things are up there because I'm not going to sell them, but some things are up. Some things will change out. I'm probably putting the Anandas in the yard sales, which happen from the 1st to the 10th of every month on my Patreon and Subscribestar, where you get to bid from $0 to whatever you think these are worth, and I ship for free content to the United States and Canada, half shipping international. I'm probably going to sell those and replace them with these, because I like them more, and I put things I like on the wall. I like these more than those. I would rather listen to these. Are they going to be as good for like testing an amplifier? Maybe not. Sitting here swapping through amps, it was like, it probably doesn't matter. That's kind of my goal. I want headphones that don't care about the source equipment. It's very annoying with my 909s in that wall, the Fostex TH909s, because I paid money for those, real money. Fostex gave me a deal, but I was still paying like $1,100 or $1,200 for them. And I can't take them off the wall except to experiment to see if maybe an amplifier can power them to the right way so they sound good. That's fucking annoying. I would love to take those off the wall and be like, these are the best headphones everywhere. And they're not. They're the best headphones, specifically on a 1950s tube and a hybrid tube amp. That's the best place I've ever heard them. So headphones like this that you plug into anything and just sound great. Let's change it. Oh, you ready? Let's change it out. So we're gonna come off of this. I don't know why APOS sent me this length of this cable, but it's like a 10-footer. Let's go in here. Let's lower that. Let's shut the bass boost off. Whatever. And let's put back on this song for a second. Second gain. Yeah, it sounds perfect. I mean, that's another thing is I also try to keep all my amps to some sort of level of, okay, these are all great and nothing should sound shit. I should add a shit amp here, not the brand shit like a Magnus, like a piece of crap, I know it's bad amplifier. So I can plug things into it and verify if it works great on that too. That means that it's a really good headphone. Doing the bass boost for fun. I wouldn't even call that fun. Honestly, that's startling. Okay, you want to know something startling? Which I didn't know before I did it just now. The bass boost barely makes a fucking difference. How? How does the X bass on the iFi Zencan barely make a difference? I've never, that's a first. That's literally a first. I've never had it not change anything. And this is Geschafelstein I was listening to. So it's like, all right, we'll try one more. Frankie Goes to Hollywood? No, he's something a little more punchy. No, more punchy. Castlevania soundtrack. Put it on the third level. There's like a tonality shift, but it's not getting. I'm starting with the bass boost on. Barely a change. There's barely any change. Wow. These headphones have built-in X-Bass then. That explains everything. That explains why I love them. Now, I have to stop recording. I love these fucking things, obviously. Enough to sell my Anandas and put them in their place for several reasons. Are they worth it over the Sundara? I can't make the word probably come out. I'd have to have something way stronger than hot cocoa to make it say, yeah, buy these over the Sundaras. Because I know the Sundaras you're going to love them. I know that because everyone loves them. Their approval rating is crazy high. I feel like these out there for a couple more months, when everybody starts tasting them or borrowing them from friends, it's going to be like, oh shit, these are the ones. And then I can say like, yes, take these over the Sundaras if you have the extra cash because you want that low end. But now, let's see what pad swapping them does. And then, well, I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to spend about 3 hours off camera doing shit in this fucking cold basement. Wearing a jacket. We're going to see what the pad swap does to the XS. Can they be better? Can I love them more with any of these pads? And then, let's see if I can fix my Anandas to be wider and softer and more forgiving and more comfortable because that sharp, I can't. It's annoying. Now that I know the difference, it's annoying that's so tight. Anyway, I'll be back. Give me like hours. Hey, so Cherry Bomb by the Runaways. So here are the stock pads. Here are all the Dakoni pads, and here are all the notes I took. Just like last time I fucked up, started putting them on the backs. It's like, and you can't do it on the fenestrated one. So there it is. Where do we start? Let's take them off my head. We'll make it real quick since this is a long review anyway. The only two I kind of feel like I could recommend fully are the Elite Sheepskin. These are right, the sheepskin. Yeah, the full sheepskin. Add comfort. Because it's just just having a big, nice piece of sheepskin that's just no cloth. The cloth thing is like good, but when you get like, when that dead animal touches your head, you're just like, memory foam. So plus comfort, there is less sub bass with the solid pads. It sort of quells that like little bit of add-on that the Sundaras, don't have. It takes it a little bit away. Still low end. But overall, just enjoyable. I just sat here listening and waiting for it to annoy me to take it off to the next one, and I didn't. So, bravo, A+ to the sheepskin. The fucking, which one are you? You're the hybrids? The hybrids, which is what reminds you most of the actual stock pad, because fabric and solid and perforated on the inside, literally identical design, was sibilant as hell. Where the hell the numbers? Sibilance as hell and less sub bass, like a lot less sub bass. So no point in getting something that makes it sibilant. Like the S's were like, that's how you could have the exact same design pad and ruin things. So when people review headphones, it's like, yeah, you're reviewing the headphone, but have you tried swapping pads? Because it makes a huge difference. The actual fenestrated, the one that's got the holes, all the little holes, these. The first thing I wrote was strange feel, because I put them on and I put it on and it just, something was off. It wasn't like, it was like a presence thing, like no music had to be playing. It just, like something about the way these were letting sound come through the driver and then through the pad just gave this like ominous feel of like, I don't know if I like this. It did maintain the bass, however. The fenestrated maintains the low end. the sub bass. Adds comfort, but also the last one here, and I found this out in a Static X song, it adds aggression. They're a little bit more kind of like the Ananda, honestly. But that feeling, that strange feel, that perforated the entire listening session with the, get it? Perforated? That's not the word I should be using. But it was there the entire time. I was like, why does this feel weird? I don't want to be here. So I'd kind of not recommend those. The aggression thing also is, it wasn't sibilance. It was just, everything felt closer and more angry. And then finally, we have the ones that are on there now, which are the Velour, the Elite Velour. Keeps the bass. It's very close to the original and sounds very clean. So if you, for some reason, want to change from these stock pads to try Deconi pads, you would either go for the nice, soft, slightly less bassy, but extremely more comfortable sheepskin, or get the Elite Velours, and you basically keep 99% of the original sound, but it's confusing me, go away. But it just sounds cleaner. I have to go back now to the originals. And then I'm going to swap these for literally half the amount of time, maybe a third of the amount of time. So we're going to swap these, although that's kind of more important, because if I can get people to fix their Anandas, so. Because I'm now officially the Anandas are broken. The review of the XS is made of the Anandas are obviously broken. If I like the XSs more. So now I'll try to fix those. But yeah. I'll link to all 4 of these. I'll just put like a check mark. Zeos, future Zeos. Don't forget timestamps, you idiot. Check marks next to the ones that I like for the XS. And I'll put the stock pads back on and we'll compare those now with new pads. By the way, sound demo and Patreon and all that shit coming up at the end of this video. So, pausing this, let's go over left to right what the pads did on the Ananda now. And this is an important part. In fact, make sure you time jump to this part. If you own Ananda, because they've been out a while and I recommended them, and people bought them, people love them. You shouldn't love them. Anandas suck with the stock pads. And I have no one to blame but myself and Deconi. I'm going to blame Deconi for not making these pads faster. Because this is all new. All these are new pads from them. And it's the same on the Sennheiser HD 8XX. I have Deconi fenestrated pads on those, and I highly recommend it. Because the 8XX were good. I liked their tuning. They were good. But I fucking love them with the Deconi pads. So what does Deconi do for the Ananda? I don't know what they do for the Aria. Because here's the thing. You just watched me go through what happens to the Edition XS, which is a very identical looking headphone. You could even see the driver, like there's just, you could see a little bit more sheen in that than here, so there's more backing. So they're tuned differently. I know they sound different, but let's look what the fucking pads do. So, these are the stock pads. Screw those. Get the fuck away from me. I get to turn like this. Elite hybrids. On the Anandas, Elite hybrids are wider, softer, more comfort, A+. All those things are things I want out of a fucking headphone. I want a headphone to be wider. I want it to be softer. And I was complaining about sibilance and like aggression. So it's wider and softer. 2 things the Anandas needed to compete with the XS. Comfort plus. I did this, by the way, in order of me noticing. So if I put comfort first, it means I noticed the comfort first, and then I noticed the fucking width. So I noticed it was wider automatically. This was the first pad swap on the Anandas. I noticed it was softer. I wasn't like taken back by the sound. It was like, oh, okay, I'm leaning into this. Plus comfort, and then I just listened for a little bit while longer, and I gave it an A+, and I figure A+ as high as we're gonna get on the table. But here are the pads that are not on them currently. I currently have the best pads I found on them. Now, let's go to the full-blown sheepskin. Ananda, plus comfort, which was the same thing I did for the XS, plus comfort. Less bass, same thing I did on the XS. Wider. So I did not add wider to any of the XS stuff, because the XS stuff all kept it the same width. But adding soundstage to the Ananda is a good thing. It keeps the detail. So a little bit more, you know, I didn't say softer in this one. I said keeps the detail. So it's a little bit, it's not like hurting. It's just, it's good. Give me some detail. Give it to me. I put A. So if that was A+, this is A. So I liked what those did. Now, on to the book. Because I basically wrote a fucking book for what these do. These are the fenestrated, like perforated ones. First thing, plus comfort. Because here's the thing, I complimented the Edition XS on being like a lighter, softer clamp. But when you're putting on memory foam pads, having a slightly heavier clamp can actually make them feel better. Because you're actually compressing that memory foam and it's starting to take the shape. It isn't just sort of like half floating. So the comfort may have actually gone down a little bit on the XS with the Tacony pads because it's a light clamp and they're like a slightly stiffer memory foam. These are just the normal stock pads. Where the hell are they? Are just like a foam, not a nice gushy, cushy memory foam. So I think maybe you lose comfort for the foam material, but you gain comfort for the foam, for the actual felt on the XS, on the velour pads. I also should point out that having both of these on the same amp, and I swapped a couple times during this whole rigmarole, the XS require a bit more power to get to the same volume. So there's something else going on internally. Back to this. Back to the fenestrator, which are currently on the Ananda, and like legitimately these may make me keep the headphones because they just plus comfort. I explained why. Great. In fact, let's put them on while I'm fucking talking about it. Plus soundstage. Not just wider. Wider was a thing, but plus soundstage means like, oh, that's a thing. Softer, which I like. Bass impact. I didn't write bass impact on anything else. So that means the actual the shit kicker of your. Yeah, no, the bass impact is better. And then more open. They sound more open. I'm wearing them right now. And you would think that like the stock pads and the fact that it's a giant open headphone would make it more open. These pads make it sound more open. These are the winning pads for the Anandas. But let's look at the last one. Which ones are you? They're just the velours, the ones that are on here now currently. Less bass, more soundstage, more comfort, and slightly dulling. So on the XS, it keeps the bass. It sounds close to the original and sounds clean. On the Ananda, it's less bass, more soundstage, more comfort, but slightly dulling. I picked the words I write. I didn't want to write the same word, like up, down. If I describe it like slightly dulling, that's unique to what this pad did for the Ananda. And I didn't love what it did. I didn't hate what it did. I stopped giving it grades, by the way. A+. I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing this shit. Because then this became S. So basically what I'm saying is, if you own the Anandas, literally any of these headphone pads will improve them. But if you want to know the ones that improve them the most, you either have to go the hybrid ones, which of course added with wider, softer, more comfortable. And I thought those were going to be the best ones I had tried on it until I got to the fenestrated, where it was super comfortable, more soundstage, softer, which makes the hurting less, and then better bass impact. And what's the last one? More open. These are the winners on the Anandas. And now, sitting here for the last 20 minutes after deciding what I was doing with the pads, putting the best pads I found on both pairs and plugging them back into the same amp and going back and forth, now it's a fight. It wasn't a fight before. The XS fucking took it. Took them. Usually the stock pads and the fucking Edition XSs are the best fucking things. Now, with the Anandas tweaked and the best shoes I could find for the XS, which is just, it's better. It didn't need it, but it's better. What did the XS gain from this? Close to the original. Yeah. Basically, the only reason I changed the pads on the XS, because it's close to the original, keeps the bass, and clean, is just because I like the Tacony pads better. So this is basically, you don't need to change it on the XS. However, if you own fucking Anandas, please, for the love of God, buy those pads. Buy these pads. Because now when I switch back and forth, having the best and the best that I could figure out, this becomes like a slightly more relaxed sitting back sound, and this is a slightly closer, more detailed sound. Now it feels its cost. It didn't before. Stock pad versus stock pad. Give me the fucking XS all day. Change pads on at least this one, now I'm starting to feel like okay, maybe the Anandas get to stay feeling. Because now it fixed everything. I was jealous of these, and now it's like, back on the clamp was lighter on these, but now the clamp is tighter, but that's fine because I've got these giant fucking memory foam. Like, watch this. Like, when I put them on, it was like I gotta wait like a minute and a half to like breathe back to life. You know, now the Anandas belong back on my wall. Yeah, no, they're much better headphones now. They've literally become better headphones. So, as much as this was a review of the Edition XS, which for $500, you don't have to change the pads, because I literally picked the ones that sounded the closest to the original. So you can keep the stock pads on the HiFiMan XS, and then it costs $500. But if you have Ananda, go and spend, I don't know how much they're probably going to charge for these. Got to be $80. Arias are an expensive headphone. They usually scale their cost of their pads to the headphone. You don't need all four of them. You don't need all four. Pick the one that I like the most, and if you don't like that one, return it and pick the next one, which would be the hybrids. But, you know, now these are the best headphones. Now these are the best ones on the desk. It's a fucking amazing how much difference the pads can make. If I started a headphone company and I was making headphones and I had the driver and I had the wood backs and the tuning of the thing and the headband and the wire all sorted out, I would spend 3 months building and researching pads. Because that's it. That's the final frontier. You can ruin a headphone with pads. The Arias are basic. I just take the Aria original fucking pads and throw them in the trash, because these are superior. How's the XS work out? Well, listen to the sound demo, which is a pain in the ass to record because giant planar magnets affect the slightly angled Neumann microphone, which has a magnet in it for the microphone, and then the array of magnets, and it's like if I rotate it, it's like... Please enjoy the sound demo the best you can, which the sound demo is on a different channel. It'll be linked in the description, or you can subscribe to that and it'll tell you when I make posts, because I usually release the sound demos a few hours earlier, just because why the fuck not? People will be like, where's the reviews? Yes, you know it's coming. That wallpaper in the description. Patreon and Subscribe Star. Links to these reviewers early. I actually have to get this out slightly sooner than I'd like. I told APOS I'd have this out on the 31st, and you guys are probably getting it like the 30th. My bad. But... you know, I'm just catching up, and I finally got propane. Like I said, $1,829. I saw the actual bill for like, it was $2.65 a gallon. Patreon Subscribe Star. Help keep this house heated. Also let you see reviews early, participate in yard sales, which I'm now deciding if I want to put the Ananda or the Edition XS in there, maybe. Unless the Edition XS just stays around for a little while, because it's a really good benchmark for $500. So that, and listen to sound demos on Compressed. For $10 a month on either of those things, you get to participate. Well, you get to all the other things. You get to enter the patronage chat, where those people know already what I'm doing with the thing, because they're behind the scenes. You know, ask me any questions you want. You can't really ask me questions on other platforms. It's too hard. Sometimes I'll answer a question real quick in the comments of a YouTube video. But mostly, if you want to like pick my brain, that's where you do it. You and 220 other people can go in there, and everyone helps each other out. It's a big old orgy of knowledge. It's a knowledge orgy, a knowledge. I tried to make a word out of multiple words just now. Anyway, and there's also a private swap meet, so when you take my advice, don't like it, you can sell the things that you bought. They're shit. Are they shit kicking the? No, they're shit kicking the Moto 2 on the Public C Reviews Telegram, not the Moto. No, not the Moto 2. The Chord Mojo. Chord Moho 2, which still has USB micros on it. It's fucking abysmal. Yes, $10 gets you to that, and the private swap meet, and check out Hi-Fi Guides, the Hi-Fi Guides forum. I've been down here too fucking long. I'm freezing. But I couldn't stop listening to music on these, So now I'm done. And that wallpaper. And I'll see you all tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, or the next